let's look at negative exponents. So what we have here is a to a negative exponent. This particular one is a to minus x. The way we deal with a negative exponent is we put, it is basically, it's like the same as saying a, and that's all over 1, because any whole numbers can be written over 1 and they still stay the same. You don't have to put it over 1. So basically a is in a numerator position over here. Now the law is that if it's got a negative exponent, we're going to put it under the numerator as a denominator and turn it into a positive exponent. So then we write a to the x, a to the minus x as a to the plus x by putting it under a numerator of 1. So basically we just took what we had, which was a over 1, and we put it as 1 over a, bringing its exponent with it. So that has now turned our exponent into a plus, which basically, if you were to take the plus sign away, it looks like that. 1 over a to the positive x. So that is how you change something that is in the numerator with a negative exponent into a positive exponent. You put it as a denominator and you change the sign. Now, if it's in the denominator already with a negative, what do you think you're going to do? We know about maths, it's always the inverse. We are going to make it the numerator and it's going to become positive. It's a very simple thing to do. So 1 over a to the minus x, to make it a positive, it becomes a to the plus x, which is the same as a to the x. And this particular one here is actually the same as a to the x over 1. Okay, so you got that now. Now let's look at some examples. So here we have x to the minus 2. It's a numerator. We need to put it as a denominator, so it's going to go under 1. And it'll become a positive power. So we're going to have 1 over x squared. Next one, this one here, let's look at that. We have the 7 over here is going to stay here. There's nothing that needs to change. It's got a silent power 1, which is positive. So don't change the 7. We're only changing the x to the minus 3. So what's going to stand in its place when it goes into the denominator? It'll be a 1, remember? So it goes to the bottom, becomes x to the 3, positive 3. And this 1 is the numerator, which is in any way the rule we learned just now on the previous screen. So what do you think is going to happen here? We've got x to the 5, which is in the numerator, and it's fine. It's got a positive. It's only this one that needs to be fixed up because it's a negative. So that is now going to become x to the 5 remains at the top, and q to the minus 3 becomes q to the 3 in the denominator. Got it? Right, let's look at this one. Here we have a negative at the top and a negative at the bottom. So if you remember now, you probably already understand, we're just going to simply swap the two around. The terms are both got negative exponents, so we're simply just going to say, fine, x can go to the numerator and become a positive 5, and y can become a denominator with a positive 2. Okay, right. Here, there's nothing wrong with 3. It stays in the numerator. It's got a positive 1 as an exponent. There's nothing wrong with the 2. It stays in the denominator. It's got a positive 1 as the exponent. It's only x that has a negative. So what do you think will happen? We're going to flip x up to the top. Everything else stays the same. So the 3 becomes 3x squared. It's joined by this x over here that becomes x squared. And the 2 stays where it is. Okay, so what is this one here? A to the minus 2, we're just recapping our rules, gets written under 1. Becomes 1 over a squared. And this one, because it's a denominator, becomes a numerator. Becomes b squared over 1, which is the same as b squared. Okay, so I hope that's a lot clearer now. Press subscribe to my channel. I share valuable rules for all grades up to grade 10. And you can find those rules here and you can recap on them and improve in your grades.